Okay, for your first assignment, I want you to work on drawing animals. I know in the first class we kind of did this, but it's good practice, and knowing how to draw using the pen tool and practicing the pen tool, the more animals you draw and the more times you use the techniques, the better you'll get. So, in this case, I have included on the CD here, or on the website, a variety of different. You got crabs that you could draw. In theory, what I'd really like to do is do your own drawing, like I did one of my son's drawings. Maybe get your kids to draw for you. Probably better than me. I'm sure they are. At least my kids are better than me at drawing. But if you don't have anything to draw, again, I'll include these samples that you see here of dolphins and elephant seals, and and these are a little bit complex here, but if you really want to try, it's a cougar and a bobcat face here. Try not to. I know some of you might have used the auto trace feature in the first class, but you know that just using that is not going to get you ahead. Really learning how to master the pen tool and using it properly. This would be a really nice composition right here. Again, working with the working inside of Illustrator, all you need to do is start Illustrator, start with a new file, go File, Place, find one of your drawings. I have a whole bunch of them. Let's see, let's try the bird one. And if you zoom in, again, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. If you want, you can make it a little bit more detail, make it a little bigger. These are not the most detailed drawings, but you know, you don't need a detailed drawing. Remember, you're just making simple shapes here. So if I wanted to do these Murrays or Murrets, whatever they are, I could click on this. One of the other samples, one of the other techniques that we learned in the first class was that you could simply go and lock the background layer. So the other thing we should start getting into would be using the layers window. In the next lesson, we're going to use layers a whole bunch. So if you haven't started with layers, bring up the layers window. It's just like it is inside of Photoshop. Let me get rid of some of these other windows. Okay. Again, to get rid of a window, it's the X in the upper corner. We're really going to have to practice, you know, how to zoom in, zoom out, move a window around, hitting the space bar to get your hand. All these things will come over time as you work with the applications a lot more. Again, one of the things that really adds detail is going to be a colored area, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. It's just different areas that you can highlight. But let me finish what I was talking about as far as layers. If you're using layers inside of here, and if you have a scan like this, and one of the problems with scans sometimes is you might select it accidentally that you might not wanted to, or if you double click on it, look what happens here. Another thing you can, one of the things about using Illustrator now is it's got like these layers inside of layers inside of layers, like it is inside of Flash, and it's kind of confusing. And if you go down too many layers, you can see right here in the top corner up here where the name is, you might need to click the back arrow to go all the way back to the top level. So I don't know how to explain it any more than that. But if you select your object, and in the layers window there should be an empty next to the eyeball. Eyeball turns it on and off like that, just like it does in Photoshop. But if you click on next to it, you'll see there's a lock, and then that way you don't accidentally click and drag the background. Okay? And once you're done doing that, then you can make a new layer, which is next to the trash can here, and I'm going to call it bird. And then I could start my bird drawing. Again, I'm going to use the plain pen tool. And when I'm working inside of Illustrator, again, this is not a super detailed animal here. It's pretty rough scan, but you're kind of making it up. You don't need to stress out that, oh, this is great. And in fact, all I'm going to do is just this top head part. You get the idea. Again, when I'm using the pen tool, I just click and hold the mouse down and drag to get my directional arm started. This time, do you remember what I forgot to do here? Is tell it to give it a fill for the color for the stroke and the no for the fill. So then if you just started like I did with one point, you just hit the backspace and delete. Oh, okay. Now let's go back to, I failed to follow my steps that I usually do. Give no fill for the, no fill right here, and then for the stroke I might give it a brighter color so I can see it as I'm working. So let me give it a color here. So then I can just click, click, click. I know it's a little thick, that's alright, don't worry. You can always change the strokes later. Change the strokes later. And so you can make some decisions later about what you want. I'm just going to go across like this, because this white shape you see here will probably be over top of this, so I'm not going to worry about what it looks like right there. We'll learn all kinds of techniques about how to put a stroke around the outside of an object and stuff like that. And then here I'm probably going to give it a beak, so I don't care what it's going to look like underneath there. I'm just going to give it like this. And you can make it up a little bit. Maybe it needs a bigger forehead. There's my first shape. And then again, to make a beak shape, I can just put click, 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 click. There's a beak shape there. And oh, he has this beautiful kind of color right here by his eye. It's kind of this white area. Let's click around there. And don't worry if it's too big. You can always change it later. At least this stroke is too big for me right now. Okay, so we got that white area, and then just to add some detail to this guy, he looks like he has some colors that come down along here. We're gonna add some colors down along here, just to add some color here. And you'll see what I'm gonna do later as far as that is concerned, as far as what I'm gonna do there. Maybe add a little color over here too. And you'll see what I'm gonna do with this color a little bit later here. So I'm just gonna add it in there. Always go back to the beginning to complete your object. Oh, and then there's a color here on his beak that we should probably give. And I'm just kind of making it up a little bit. You don't have to worry about it. And then once I get my general shapes like this, I might select all these objects here. Draw a box around them. And let me change my point size, my stroke size. I don't know why it's still so big here. Oh! Let's go down to a half a point for that. Okay, so I just changed the stroke to be a lot smaller. Now, one of the things you can consider is you don't really even need a stroke. Like these ones that are in here, these two colored areas that I have right here, I'm probably just going to fill them in with a color and turn off the stroke, and that color will probably be like a dark color, but not too dark. You know what? How about we give it like kind of a dark red, and then this color I'll probably give up. And in this color, I'll probably add a dark color. There we go. And I probably will leave the stroke on there. And then this one, again, it looks like it's a white. And then let's give a beak color. Ooh, that's not a very good beak color. It's a plain color there. And then maybe this one, we can give it a looks like probably a lighter color. But no stroke. Again, you can turn off the stroke going like that. And then this, I might give a black line around there. In fact, the whole object, I might give a black stroke. And then the eye. So you could see just by, you don't need to have a stroke everywhere. You can turn off your stroke to add colored areas. This one, again, might need a black stroke, and then we could put an eye in there. And then to adjust the points, again, we can use what's called the direct selection tool here. Is this one, and as you can see, we got some crazy dots going on over here and stuff like that. So using the white direct selection tool will allow you to adjust the curves of the objects here, moving the points around, adjusting the directional arms. So for your first week or so in this class, I want you to work on drawing animals in a variety of different ways, using the pen tool, using the direct selection tool, and things like that.